How many of y'all know we got a good father? Good father. And I'm over there crying, and I had just excited about God, and you all can have a seat. You all can have a seat. Just let me calm down before I say anything. I'm super excited. This day started probably a couple of months ago, and Pastor was sharing a word about how, sometimes you get something and you want to say it right then, and God won't release you to say it. And he said you have to be responsible with revelation. And so when he said that, I was like, man, that's pretty deep. And then he shared something that he wanted to share with me, but he didn't. And then I shared with him a story. I just left a conference in Panama City. And so Charlene and I got into the conference. It was on a Sunday afternoon. It's a 3-day conference. I was the keynote speaker that Tuesday. And so we get there that Sunday afternoon, and it's on the beach. And so we look outside, and we kind of go, and they didn't do the registration right then. But the people were out there on the patio. It was like an open bar. They had food. And so, I'm like, hey, we're just going out here. So we go out there, and you got a group over here. You got a guy playing the saxophone, and he's doing this thing. You got a group right here, and all of this is on the beach. And so I like the, I can see the food they had over here. Man, this look like, And I'm thinking all of this is the same conference, because this is a PR conference for a Southern Federal Public Relations Conference. So it's every college in the Southeast. So Alabama, Georgia, every Montevallo, you name it. So I'm excited. So I go over here with the group, and I'm just talking. Hey, how you doing? Hey, my name is Pete Kim, the keynote speaker. I'll be speaking on Tuesday. How you doing today? Man, it's good, man. All right, man. So I'm just having a good time. And Charlene said, hey, I'm going to go and go to the restroom. I'm going to go check on the kids. I'm going to check on the registration. And you just chill. And I'm like, great. So I'm over here meeting, and I got my tacos, and I'm eating, and I'm over there. I'm going to be speaking on Tuesday. Now, where are you from? Mississippi State? Yeah, you all won. And I'm just going, I'm having a great time, right? And so about 45 minutes later, Charlene comes over there, and I'm like, Charlene, you got to meet this group right here. You got to meet them. Oh, man, hey, this is such and such. Charlene does me like this, kind of like what she did a while ago. She kind of grabbed me like that. I said, hold on. Hey, you got to meet. Hey, this is my wife, Charlene. Hey, you don't got. Charlene grabs me like that. I say, hey, look. Hey, you. And then Charlene grabs me like that. She said, hey. This is the wrong conference. I said, what? She said, this is the wrong group. I said, I met all these people. I got all these new friends. And so she said, that's our group over there. I said, well, they've been watching. I've been over here for 45 minutes. Y'all couldn't have came and just told me, like, hey, that's the wrong group. Nobody said, they said, you were having so much fun. We didn't want to disturb you. And so when I shared that, Pastor said, he said, sound like you were at the wrong place at the right time, right? And we started laughing, and I said, boy, that sounds like a sermon now, you know what I mean? Just joking. He said, hey, let me know when you're ready to preach it. And we just kind of didn't know that the next day, the group that I thought I was supposed to be with, that I wasn't supposed to be with, did the purchasing for every university in the United States. And the people who I connected with set up the speakers for every conference in the United States. And this is just their Southeastern conference. And so they came by and had their drinks, and they were like, hey, that's our guy. I was like, yeah. And the next day they came in to hear me speak. And they said, man, we want to book you. Now, I'm with the Southern Public Relations, but they said, we want to book you for our national conference. So it all started with, I'm at the wrong place at the right time. So when he said that that'd be a good something to preach, I started thinking like, yeah, but who do I, how do I find scripture to go with this. What character in the Bible? You always think about Miss Cole. Miss Cole, y'all may know Miss Cole. And I know y'all looking like, when is he going to? Well, Miss Cole used to always tell a story. Miss, can you remember the preacher who went to the hospital, and he went to pray with one of his parishioners, and she was laying in the bed with the oxygen tank on, and she was trying to talk, and she was writing, and he said, hey, no, let me pray. And he just began to pray. In the name of Jesus, I just pray right now for, and he just kept praying for her, and she was trying to write, and she started shaking, and he just kept praying with his eyes closed, and she was writing and shaking, and all of a sudden he said, oh my God, and the nurses come in, and she had written something down on the paper, and he grabbed her hand, and he grabbed a paper, and the nurses came in, and she died. And so the pastor was like, oh, man, God must have wanted me to be there with her as she transitioned over. And so a couple of days later, of course, he's doing a eulogy, and he had his suit coat on, and he talked about the woman, and then he said, she didn't really say much. She was shaking a little bit, but she was writing something down on a piece of paper. As a matter of fact, this the suit coat I had on. And he reached in his pocket, and he said, oh, man, these are probably her last words. And he opened up the paper. And they said, Pastor, get your dang foot off my oxygen tank. You're about to kill me. Okay, all right, this is a joke. Okay, all right, can you take it? Okay, just a joke. But the whole, I'm sorry. The whole moral was, you gotta watch and pray. That's the real WAP. Watch and pray. WAP. You get that later. So back to the story. But the kicker was, I said, who can I find in the Bible? I said, I could talk about Jonah. He was in the well. He was at the wrong place. I could talk about David, because David, it said he was taking his brother's bread and cheese. Sounded like he was taking him a pizza, right? And he ended up killing Goliath. And then I said, well, maybe Jesus. You can't miss with Jesus. And then God began to hit me with Joseph. And I was like, because everywhere Joseph went, it seemed like he was at the wrong place. Everywhere. When he was in his father's house, when he got thrown in the... So let's look at Genesis, and let's examine this guy named Joseph.
Genesis 37, 3 through 6. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him the more.
Wait! Boy, I got that coat from my daddy. My daddy loved me. Whoa! Coat of many colors, boy. I don't know what y'all know about me with my coat. My brothers hating on me, but hey, look, I don't even know if they hating because of the dream or they hating because I got the favor of my father. Yeah, rocking that coat, boy. Joseph, baby, yes. Look at my coat, man. Reuben, check me out. Look, y'all. Yeah, I'm that dude. Yeah. I started thinking about Joseph. And the funny thing about Joseph is that Joseph, he really didn't understand why or how he got the favor of his father. Like Rachel was his mom, and the Bible say that his dad loved Rachel more, and Joseph was the 11th child, so he was like the baby, and these are all his older brothers, and he got the favor of his father, and he's wearing the coat. And then he go and tell them this dream about how y'all are going to bow down to me. Just imagine. This little kid walking around flaunting it. And he's wearing the coat, I just want to ask you, what? I wonder, Because it took courage for Joseph to wear the coat. Do you have the courage to wear your coat? See, when I say wear your coat, I mean the coat was a representation of the favor of his father. And some of us, God, then favored, but we diminishing it. I don't want to stand out. I know I can play sports, but I know I can do business, and I know I'm smart in the classroom, but we don't want to stand out because the same coat can bring you haters or it can bring you helpers. The same coat that you put on that they say, man, how did you do that? How did you become that? How did you get there? How did you become the president? How did you become the superintendent? How did you become the president? How did you get this church? You ain't been in ministry this long. How did you get that business? You don't have a degree. Do you have the courage to wear the coat? Or are you trying to diminish it because you're afraid of the attention that it'll bring? And also, the ability to interpret the dream was a coat. Because at some point, you got to face them haters. And you got to face the people who are not as excited about it as you are. But you still got to wear it. You still got to put it on. But at some point.
Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers.
Listen,
He said,
I had another dream, but this time it was about the sun and moon and 11 stars all bowing down to me.
Here he
Just
comes.
look at him
There he
now,
is.
brother.
The dream on, brother. Yeah, the dream.
Why
Father loves him so much
What did he
more.
do to deserve such favor? They said to each other, come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns
Yeah.
and say that a ferocious animal devoured him.
Yes.
Then we'll see what comes of
You
his
will
dream.
bow down to me one day.
brother.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no
Coat,
water in
baby.
it.
God, favor my father, boy. Man, come on, man. Man, y'all my brothers, man. We family, man. You just gonna do me like that? And we supposed to be family. We brothers, man. Come on, Reuben. Judah, man. You go. Just gonna throw me in a pit like this? Man, what do you do? Israelites come through. I went from wearing the coat to now I'm a slave. And not only am I a slave, I'm doing everything Master says. I'm doing so well as a slave that they moved me up to the top. I'm second in command. Everything that happened at the house prospered because of me. God was with me the whole time, but I didn't see him. I didn't feel him, but he was with me the whole time. What do you do? You're in the pit. See, because in today's term, when I say pit, P-I-T, it could be a place in tragedy. It could be a place in trouble. It could be a place in trauma. It could be a place in torment. It could be a place in turmoil. What do you do when you're in the pit? I thought that until death do us apart, I thought I was going to be married forever, but I get a divorce. I'm in the pit. Oh, man, I knew this job was going to be the one. I know I can make. I'm in the pit. And if Joseph had died in the pit, if he had died in the place of tragedy, if he had died in the place of turmoil, in the place of torment, in the place of trauma, he would have never got to the other pit, which is the place of training. which is the place in the place not just where you get trained, but where you make the transition. Hebrews 12:11 say, but this present suffering is not pleasant, but afterwards it produces the peaceable fruit of righteousness for those that are trained by it. I'm in the pit. My kid was born with autism. I'm in the pit. I finally get the job, and now you're telling me that my wife is about to leave me. I'm in the pit. I got suicidal thoughts. I finally get the job of my dream, but I have no time. I have no peace. I'm in the pit. Lost the game. I lost the case. Me and my wife making more money than we ever made, but we can't get along. Cancer, COVID. I'm in this pit. I'm stuck. And I'm doing everything that God said to do. Now they got me second in command. I'm over everything in the house. Everybody knows Joseph. Potiphar's like, man, this is my guy. Everything he does prosper. And God is with me even in the pit. Nobody told me that the pit was the pathway. Nobody told me that the pit would take me through problems and pain. Nobody told me that this place in turmoil, this place in tragedy, this place in trauma could lead to a place in training and a place in transition and a place in triumph. My grown kids moving back home, I'm in a pit. And I don't know how to get out of it. But I'm in the best possible position within the pit. Because I'm second in command. How did I end up here? You mean I could be pushed by purpose and paralyzed by purpose? You mean that who God favors, the kingdom can feature, but the devil gonna fight me? Man, I gotta get out of this pit. God, get me out of this pit. Yes, Potiphar, what do you need? Whatever you need, sir. Yes, I got you. Uh-huh. Yes.
Genesis 39:7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said,
"Come to my bed and lie with me,
refused.
Joseph."
And she caught him by his garment,
Come
saying,
on, Joseph. No one will ever know. My husband will never find out. Come on, lie with me, Joseph.
And he left with his garment in his hand and fled and got him out. Genesis 39:18. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying,
See, he has brought this Hebrew into us to mock us. And he came on to me to lie with me. And I cried out with a loud voice. And what I did, he left his garment and he fled. Look what he has left.
His wrath was kindled, and Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
She's lying. I was not trying to rape. I was not trying to be with her. She's lying, Potiphar. I'm telling you, I never touched your wife, man. Man, how did I end up in here, God? Come on, God. Look at me. All I did is I just wore the coat, and I didn't even ask for the coat. And you telling me that now I went from a pit thinking I'm going to get out of there, and now I'm in prison? What are you doing, God? What are you saying? God, I'm sick of this, man. I can't take this. I didn't ask for this. My daddy just gave me the coat and my brothers threw me in it. Get me out of here. God, where are you? You say you will be. Where are you? It's funny, right? Joseph didn't do any of that. Joseph was at peace even in prison. They put Joseph in charge of everybody, even when he was in prison. Can you imagine being thrown in prison for something that you didn't do? But yet you get to prison and they put you over everybody, and then all of a sudden, while he's in the prison, the king had thrown his butler and his baker into prison. And while they're in the prison cell, they had a dream. Now, Joseph could have been sitting back like, hey, man, y'all think what y'all want to think. I don't. But Joseph interpreted their dreams. Can you imagine being in prison still operating in purpose? He was still operating in purpose even while he was in prison. And he's saying to himself like, man, I know he's thinking, look, man, this is what your dream means. He told the baker what his meant. It wasn't good. And then the cupbearer, the butler, he tells him, you're going to be restored. King will bring you back. And the first time, Joseph hadn't said anything, but this is the first time Joseph said, look, hey, remember me, man. I'm not supposed to be in here. Remember me when you get back restored. I'm telling you, my dream said you're going to get restored. God interpreted the dream, and it said you're going to get restored. I started thinking, have you ever felt like you were in prison? Think about the job you prayed for, and all of a sudden you hate to go to it. You start feeling like a prison. The marriage, you say, oh my God, I love you, and to death do us apart, and all of a sudden you start feeling like a prison. They lied on you. They said something that wasn't true, and it felt like a prison, and the question becomes, can you still operate in purpose even while you're in prison? What if I told you that the preparation for the called assignment is being birthed in the current assignment, and that you can't get to what's next until you master what's now?
12. Welcome to New Remnant Worship Center with Pastor Marcus and Lady Kim Moten.
Social media family, I am Pastor Marcus Moultrie. We are New Remnant Worship Center. Listen, it's going down. 6001 County Road 47, St. Florine, Alabama. If you are unsaved, unchurched, disconnected, I personally invite you to come and worship with us. You ought to want to come to be connected. 6001 County Road 47, 10:15 every Sunday. You are welcome. You are invited to come worship with us.
A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. When we told him, he interpreted our dreams to us, giving an interpretation to each man according to his dream. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it.
No one can interpret the dream? He done called all the magicians and everybody, and nobody could interpret it? And he want to see me? Hey, King. Hey, I know God interpreted the dream for me. I got it. So it's 7 years, and yeah, it goes, yeah, see what that means is gonna be 7 years, it's gonna be real plentiful right here for the kingdom in Egypt. I'm telling you. And in 7 years, there's gonna be a lot of famine. So what you got to do is interpret the dream. The king Pharaoh was so impressed, he said, man, this man is gonna be next in line. He's gonna be in charge of everyone. Everyone will answer to him. They gave him a position. They gave him prestige. They gave him power. They gave him a wife. He's 30 years old now. He was 17 when he got the dream. Can you imagine all that time? He finally get in that place where he's second in command. And now his brothers come to see him. He have a choice to make. Do I operate as a hater, or do I operate in humility? Do I treat them like they treated me? Do I look back at the pit and say, man, oh. I look at the prison and I say it's
Genesis
because of
50,
them.
verse 19. Joseph said to them,
Do not fear, for am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today.
Joseph. What the enemy meant for bad, God meant for good. Can God trust us to get to the place that we operate in humility, or will we go back and try to get everybody who tried to keep us, everybody who hated, everybody who tried to hold us back? You fired me from the job, you wait till I become the boss. You kicked me out that church, you wait till I become a pastor. Oh, you say I'm not a good teacher, you wait till I become a principal. You wait till I become a counselor. You wait till you come in my courtroom when I'm the judge. You wait till I'm handling your case when I'm the attorney. You wait till I become a dad. You wait till I become a mom. Will we operate in humility, or will we bring the same hate? Because it's funny, Joseph never got locked into the dream. If you look, Joseph wasn't in the pit saying, you wait. My dream gonna get me out of this pit. I can see it. I got my dream. Man, when he got to prison, boy, my dream. You wait till I get to, man, my dream, when I fulfill my dream and I get to the. He wasn't even thinking about the palace. See, if I was giving you points, I'd give you points. If you're taking notes, write this down. Point number 1, do you have the courage to wear the coat, which is the favor of the Father? Number 2, are you willing to go to the pit and allow the place of turmoil and tragedy and trauma to become the place of training and the place of triumph and the place of transition? Number 3, can you operate in your purpose even when you feel like you're in prison? And to connect these two, I just add a sidebar. When Potiphar's wife was lying on him, he didn't say, I can't sleep with you because I have a dream. Can you operate and make daily decisions towards your destiny even in difficult situations? He was just doing what God told him. It said that God was with him in the pit. God was with him with the coat. God was with him in prison. So when he get over here, you know God what? Still with him. But some of us in here today, we may be in the palace in our marriage. Oh my God, we're doing great. But we may be in the pit in our finances. Well, if we don't get everything right, it's gonna. We may be in prison on our job. Man, I can't stand this job. Maybe in all of us kind of, and some of us just walking around wearing the coat and don't even know what God gave us or why he gave it to us. And instead of us understanding that it's purpose, we're wearing it like it's, look at me. Because it's crazy. How could Joseph kind of misinterpret his dream? Because he said, you all will be bowing to me. His dream didn't say that you will be king or next to the king and you will be serving. Because really that's what he was doing. He was serving his brothers. What if I told you if your dream is only serving you and not others, then it may not be a dream from God? He could have easily, if you read that story, and he went back and forth, he's like, man, that look like my brothers right there. Oh, that's them. Man, I should do. He kind of went back and forth for a minute. And then he walked out of the room one time, he came back, go get your brothers. Go get your younger brother. Go get your dad. I mean, back and forth. And then finally, he said, man, what the enemy meant for bad, God meant it for good. And some of us in here today are in the pit. Some are in the prison. Some may be in the palace. I was having a conversation with a guy by the name of Billy Armstead the other night. And we were talking about Handy Head Start. And I said, 20-some years ago, we moved to Florence, Alabama. I started working at Handy Head Start doing social work. I loved it until I got my first check. Got that first check, it was $637. I'll never forget. And I said, oh, okay, I'm thinking this every week. It's once a month. I said, wow. We had a house in Atlanta. We were trying to sell, so $637 didn't even pay our mortgage in Atlanta for our house that we loved. Not only that, Charlene said, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant with our second child. I said, we got a 10-month-old. She's pregnant. I'm making $637 a month. My job was to help low-income families get the help they need. So I would connect them if they needed Section A, if they needed food services, whatever they needed. And I still remember the day when I walked up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, my name's Key. Mr. Key, how you doing? Oh, doing great. Yes. Good, excited. But you are, every time I see you, you're so excited. You're always so happy. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. She said, so what, do you have another family for me? I said, yeah, I got a family. Okay, oh, okay, who is this? Her name is Charlene. Oh, Charlene, is this one of your? Nah, that's my wife. And I always tell the story about walking into Walmart. I found this the other day. Some of y'all might not know what this is. So it says WIC, W-I-C, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children. And I remember walking in Walmart, and I always tell the story. I had $42 worth of change and a WIC voucher. And with this WIC voucher, this is the government saying, we're going to give you cheese, we're going to give you milk, we're going to give you juicy juice, we're going to give you peanut butter, we're going to give you some cereal. And they send it every month. Now I'm saying to myself, we leaving a $200,000 house, $100,000 job to come to Florence, Alabama, because you said come here, God. And now here I am with a WIC voucher. It still got our name. If you can see it, it says Charlene Key, Mansfield Key. And it said proxy. Do you see the proxy on there? Whose name on the proxy? Proxy. So we can't go get it, somebody else can go. See, y'all think I'm just talking about Joseph. You understand what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, when I left Walmart that morning, after being here, I went at 4 in the morning, but it was like 5:30, and the lady counted all the change out. It was $38, and it's 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, she counted all the change. And then they pushed all my little food up. The line was getting long. And I said, wow. And I remember I pulled up, and I was in the driveway. And I sat. I just started crying. I couldn't control it. So Charlene opened the door. It was raining. And I said, "You all right?" I said, "I'm good. Just spending time with the Lord. I'll be in it." Man, I'm crying. And then it's like once I cleared up, I heard God say, "Don't you ever be ashamed to allow people to see you where you are right now. Because when I do what I'm going to do in your life, they'll know that it's possible." I realized that it wasn't even about me. It wasn't even about Joseph. And so I'm talking to my daughter, and I end with this. I'm talking to my daughter, and last Sunday, and she was like, "Dad, how was church?" I said, "We didn't have church." So she had called Charlene and said, "Is Daddy okay?" You know, he was really looking forward to doing his look. You know, they be having colds and stuff. She said, "Yeah, y'all need to call and encourage him, you know. Because we don't know if Pastor going to let him do it next week. Or he'll be, say, Pastor will be back." So I said, I said, "How was church for you?" And I told her all the stuff about Joseph. She was like, "Oh, Dad, that's good. Oh, that's good. Dad, you need to do this." And she was just, I said, "Well, what about you?" She said, "I went to church today." I said, "Well, how was church?" She said, "Our pastor talked about Jesus." I was like, "Jesus?" She said, I learned now that if you want to be a disciple for Christ, you got to love Jesus. I'm saying, that's what you learn at church. All this stuff I just told you, you learn that you got to love Jesus. You know, I'm kind of, I wasn't being you know what I mean? She said, "But Dad, no, this is what he said. The way you know you're a disciple is when you love Jesus more than you love any person, more than you love any plan, and more than you love any possession." And I said, wow, do I love Jesus more than any person, any plan, or any possession? And I started thinking, what do Jesus, if you look at Jesus, he was 30 when he started this ministry. Joseph was 30. Jesus' robe got torn. Joseph's robe got torn. Joseph, they lied on him. Jesus, they lied on him. I just started looking at all these parallels, but Jesus wasn't Joseph, though. Jesus was Jesus. And I started saying to myself, wow, I could call this sermon "The Moment That We Make the Move." From the pit to the palace. I had all kind of names. I mean, I was like from the current to the call. And I realized that yesterday's gone. Tomorrow is not promised. The only moment we have is right here, right now. We are landing in California, December the 18th. As soon as we land, get a text. "Hey, man, your other mother, Edna, man, in the hospital." "Oh, okay." Call to her. "Hey, man, how's she doing?" "Hey, man, she in ICU. She not doing well, man. COVID." "For real?" "Oh, wow." In California, have you ever gotten news that shook you, but yet, I'm in California. We were going to see Hamilton. We at the Clippers game. But yet over here, I'm thinking, man, this is my mother here. This is Edna. And I get a call the next day, Monday. He said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna take Deron, man, to get tested too, man, because he was in the house with her and he may have it too." So he took Deron that Tuesday. So about 3 a.m., that's like 5 a.m., I guess, in Florence. But woman in California, phone ring. Hey, man. Hey, man, Duran just died. Like, what? What do you mean? Man, he just died, bro. 42 years old? Yeah, I don't know if we should tell mom because she's still in ICU, or should we land? We get back. He decides to have the service. He have the service. Beautiful home going. Video it and everything because we're thinking, man, we want to show Edna this when she come out of the ICU. And then boom. We have the service. A week later, it's New Year's Day. We get the call. We thinking Edna getting better. She passed away. And the reason why I shared that is because I realized that no one is promised tomorrow. I just talked to her at Thanksgiving. How you doing? Oh, we good. You know it's all about love, butterflies, and flowers. That was it. And I realized that the only moment we have is right now. And if you think about it, when I looked in both of their obituaries, I didn't see a house. I didn't see a car. I didn't see a bank statement. I didn't see, hey, I wish I had spent more time on it. All I saw was the people that they left and the people who went before them. And at the end of all of this that we have, that's all they're going to show. Only what we do for Christ will last. So if yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised, and the only moment we have is right here, right now, we got to be in the present moment. Everyone say be in the present moment. And we have to live in the present moment. Somebody say live in the present moment. So I want you to stand to your feet. And we're going to end on this. But I don't want to just assume that everybody living in the present moment. Because Joseph couldn't have did what he done without God. He said God was with him. So when I say live in the present moment, I can't sing. If I could sing while I'm
living in the present moment.
Who said that? That's what I'm talking about. Everybody said they living in the present moment. Just live in the present moment. Everybody say that. Live in the present moment. I need you to live in the present moment. One more time. Say it. Live in the present moment. See, a lot of times the enemy wants you to think about what's going to happen next. What are you going to do tomorrow? Where are you going to eat after church? What are you going to do when you graduate? What are you going to do? Are you going to pass? Are you going to do this? But if you can just begin to live in the present moment, if you think about Joseph, when Joseph was in the prison, he was in the what? Present moment. When he was in the pit, he was in the what? Present moment. When he was in the palace, he was in the what? Present moment. So I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are. You may be in the pit. You may be in the prison. You might be walking around with the coat. But this is a moment right here. And if we're going to live in the present moment, that means we got to do what needs to be done in the present moment.
You have been listening to New Remnant Worship Center. Join us again next week as we continue to keep the faith in these troubled times. And until then, remember Acts 17 and 28. For in him we live, move, and have our being.